Good evening, everybody. It's been a great honor. Today is an historic day, 20th September 2024. Exactly 100 years back, a man made an important announcement in London. And when he came to India, his age was 26. After that, after 22 years, when he was 48, he made this particular historic announcement, which made the Indian history topsy-turvy. And we have been celebrating this from 2018 onwards with a lecture. Mostly I was coming from Orissa. I was delivering this lecture. And I'm not going to address everybody by name. This August Assembly has got many important people who are known to me. And two of the very dear friends, very honorable people, uh, Dr. Janaki Raman and Mr. Paul Pandian, has come all the way from US. When I told that I'm going to deliver a talk on 20th, then they decided to make a trip and they come with their family. And our trustees are here, Mr. Armugam and Ramani Radarajan, and many other friends, officers, Amarnath Ramakrishnan, and a different thing, Subhasini of Tamil Marabar Katalai, and many important, my officers and friends, everybody is here, and my wife Sujata is here, and who made particular studies possible for this many years. Thank you, everybody. And I chose this topic as a read complex. It didn't, though this title was decided by me just about 15, 20 days back, exactly, I zeroed on this title. But the material for this was collected by me. This June, I was actually vacating my home in Bhubaneswar, government Bangla government quarters. I was actually packing to relocate in Chennai. Then when I was packing my reading room, lot of hand notes, 1986 as a probationer in Cuttack, the note I took, 1988, my visits to the tribal villages, 90 like that. So I was taking everything, packing and putting there. Suddenly this pink thing, plastic cover, I saw that. Suddenly something flash came to my eye. Some important document, I kept it here. I opened it and found that this is a document I had prepared in year 2002 and 3. It's about 22 years, 32 years now. And then I was wondering, this is about the Vedic migration and the Vedic name, Iranian name. I had spent endless days and nights and prepared this document. I was worried that it's all in hard copy. Do I have the digital copy of it? I have a habit of saving everything I write in every multiple format. From all type of computer I used from 80s onwards, I have multiple copies. Then I took the latest external drive and went for the oldest drive, and located this particular document. When multiple times saved, I saw that it's created in 2002. I opened again, saved it on 2003. Then 2004 March, then I was wondering why I did not open. At that time, I was appointed suddenly as a chief electoral officer of Odisha and was conducting election. Then again, I had opened in 2004. And after 2005, I had not opened that file. I was appointed as a Deputy Election Commissioner of India. After that, I was doing election in Kashmir, Chhattisgarh, 30 state and 2 national election. I got into journey of civilization. I was doing so many other things. This left behind. Then this I was packing. Probably had I not packed in Orissa in this June, probably this I would not have touched. That is how we are having the read complex now. And thank you very much for that occasion. So this ring complex, I would like to dedicate this talk, obviously, to John Morrison, who made this phenomenal difference to the Indian history. And I would like to file a caveat. You know, those who are familiar with the legal language, they know that the filing caveat. When we take an important decision in government, we always tell our officers, Purnalingam sir is here, he knows that we ask our officers to better file a caveat in High Court. So that we file a caveat so that nobody passes an order without hearing us. So that we should be given an opportunity for being heard. So that has been, it's not a disclaimer. I would like to call this as a caveat. The terms Dravidian and Aryan used in this presentation do not carry any racial connotation. I am absolutely a pluralist by heart, by behavior, by diction, by ideology. And then I know that everybody's blood runs in everybody's blood. We are still carrying 2% of the Neanderthal gene. So there is, don't talk in racial terms, and we are mature. They are essentially linguistic and represent certain unique value systems. Yes, value system, respect for agriculture, ability to trade internationally, knowing the sea, respecting women, and then Kalvi Paramalakanam, the spread of education, like that. So many exactly unique value system and world views. So this represents these terminologies. So this is a caveat I would like to find before starting. I need to give you an overview. This is going to be in 4 segments. Further India, I'm going to introduce something called Further India. In people who are familiar in history know that further and far away. You know that when you talk about the Asia from the European point of view, they will say that Near East, then they will say the West Asia, then Middle East, then they will say South Asia, then they will say Southeast Asia, then somebody will tell it's a Far East. So that means the distance from the Europe is the connectivity. That's a Far East means it's a far away, a Asia which was far away. So then from Indian point of view, till 1970s, historians were writing something called, they were using two terminology. Now no longer people use that. One is Greater India. That means India which is outside the borders of India, but the Indianization and the Indian influence was there in the Southeast Asia. So the Southeast Asia, which is including, people include the Myanmar, and then Thailand and Cambodia, Laos, and then Indonesia, particularly Philippines, and all this, the entire region is called Further India. Then I will give an abstract and a methodology. I will talk about RIG, Greek complex, and I will give my proposal. So in recent years, international research scholars have jointly co-analyzed ancient DNA and genomic data from diverse present-day South Asians. Some 95 scientists, they analyzed so many things, and ancient DNA data available in the Indus periphery, and of course subsequently Rakigadi something was found, but otherwise they were the living people. The current data as well as ancient data available in the Indus periphery. The study has revealed that the ancestry from steppe genetically linked Europe and South Asia in the Bronze Age. That means Europe and South Asia linked through the what is called steppe genome. Steppe is the pulveli, is a grazing ground. It's a huge one from the Europe to nearly to Mongolia and the entire covering the Russia, Ukraine, Georgia, and Turkmenistan, the entire thing beyond that. It has identified the populations that almost certainly were responsible for spreading Indo-European languages across much of Eurasia. The study finds. Guided by this, the current presentation probes the country-wise place name database sourced from GeoNet server. My source. I have been working with this particular database for the last about 30 plus years. I use a GIS, Geographical Information System, very extensively. And then this database of South Asia, India and Pakistan, Central and West Asia, and transcontinental zones, Afghanistan, Iran, Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Georgia, Iraq, and Syria. This is an area, a projected area of interest I have taken. With the aid of Geographical Information System, I use GIS and comes out with certain proposal. This is what my scheme today. I will read some of the names. I hope that you got to decide whether these names sound familiar. Langa, Bharat, Ayodhya, Lakmana, Rama, Sita, Ravan, then Panjali, Varna, Sudran. Where was the rest of the names? Panjali, Varna, Sudran, and Kunti, Tusala, Satri, Indraprastha, Brahmana, Vaishya. I think it should be familiar. These names sound very familiar now. We have come across very often. But these are the place names in Southeast Asia. Will you believe? It's not only this. It's in Southeast Asia. These are the place names. I will show you a map. This is basically a map of Indonesia. I'll read some of the names. I think that far away, I think you can see the TV screens which are available here. And subsequently, we will also in the, some of the enlarged maps also. I'm reading some of these names like Raja, Sena, Pandurangan is a place. Pandurangan is a friend of mine in India, in Madurai. But it is Pandurangan is a place in Indonesia, Indrapura, Raja, Rajabasa, Sena, Pala, Kalinga, of course, Devi, Sangar, Giri, Pandu, Uma, Chandra, Rani Rani, Indraprastha, Malai, Panchali, Tiribhuvana, Pagala Lingam, Pandu, Meru, Rama, Bhima, Siva. This is one set of name. If you see the other slide, this I have given the other question because Indonesia is a archipelago of the 17,000 islands. 17,000 islands constitute Indonesia. Bali, Java, Sumatra, Borneo, and all these Korea. Then we got a different name, all kind of in the historical times, we got a different name. Swarnabhumi, this area was generally known as in Thailand and other places. If you see this particular map, Bharat, Nagara, Suryalaya, Pandava, Arjuna, Janaka, Devi, Ravana, Bhima, Pandu, Rajaputri, Chandra, Sangar, Brahmana, Satriya, Vaisya, and Sudra. These are the place names. This place name, which I say that I was reading out from the Indonesia, this includes, let me give the complete list. Indonesia, I'm reading out a representative list. Rama, Sita, Bharat, Lakshmana, Ravan, Lanka, Kosalai, Lanka, Janaka, Janaka is the king of the Kosalai, Garuda, Jatayu, Garuda, Kuru, Panchala, Pandava, Dharma, Arjuna, Bhima, Gandhara, Indraprastha, Drona, Krishna, Devi, Vishnu, Shiva, Sakti, Nandi, Surya, Chandra, Uma, Saraswati. Saraswati is very important. Pandurangan, Linga, Padava Lingam, Jaya Sakti, Suryalaya, Surya Setra, Surya Sakti, Tribhuvana, Sangar, Sankaran, Gaja, Meru, Nagaraja, Raja, Rajan, Raja, Rani, Rani Rani, Rajaputri, Rajaya, Rajadesa, Rajamandala, Rajabasa, Rajabhuvana, Malla, Pandiyan, Pallava, Kalin, Pana, Sena, Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriyan, Vaisya, Sudra, Malay, Giri, Sagar, Nagara. This is in Indonesia. And it's giving a glimpse about the Thailand, Ayutthaya. There is a thing that's if you go to Thailand, normally Kanchanaburi and other places there, then there is a place called Ayutthaya. It was considered to be the early capital. The Thailand kings, even now, they call themselves as Rama kings. Rama 1, Rama 2, Rama 3. Ayutthaya. Aranya Pradesha. There is an area in Thailand. It's like Aranya Kandaman, Aranya Pradesha. Sita. If there is a Sita, there has to be Lanka. Maharaj. Rajaguri. Rajagranu. Sakraraj. Prachinpuri. Kanchanapuri. Nagara Sri Dharmaraj. Nagara Rajasimha. Chandapuri. Then this is Thailand. People know it. I'm talking about the Philippines. Can you believe it? Langa, Linga, Agatya, Ahutya, Ayodhya, Gaja, Devarman, Magisa, Kalinga, Singa, Sura, Sundara, Malay, Aranyo, Uma, Madurai, Ayutthaya, Bharat, Ganga, Ravan, Rama, Sita, Gandhara. This is I'm just giving this particular as a sample. Indonesia, I gave it. You can see the map. You see the place, latitude and longitude. I have the Aksharekha and Dirgharekha, latitude and longitude position. You can Google for it. You can see it in Google here. I am giving the full detail. You can locate that and read about it. And then it's a Thai, it's a Philippines. You see that Gandhara and other places. So why you need to know that why of all the names I selected this RIG. Sounds good also, read. And like KVT, Core KVT 20. I will tell the reason. And then, so then like this, you see the Philippines. So is that a beginning? I'm first, I want to give a prototype. I want to talk about some area where undoubtedly we talk about an influence during little prehistoric and historic time. We are able to connect with the Kalinga kings and the Pallava kings. And I have been to Angkor Wat, and you know what are the temples, the Hindu temple and Champa kingdom and the Karikalamaya statue there. So you know the context in which this particular spread of the culture Indianization took place. But way back in 2002-3, I published a research article about Orissa. This paper is a very important paper. It was published by V.A. Subramaniam in International Journal of Dravidian Linguistics. The article was New Light on Contacts Between Kalinga and Indonesia. Like that, I submitted a paper. And even today, that paper is referred to, I think, even recently, when a few months back, when we celebrated the first World Oriya Chemoli, that meant classical language conference, and that map was put for the display. So, but this contact, that my paper also found that the contact with the Southeast Asia and what is now called India is not only historical times. The prehistoric time, there was a huge connectivity. What is now the peninsular India or the eastern coast to the Southeast Asia. And this is called pre-Aryan civilization in Southeast Asia. People call it an Austronesian civilization. And the process of the so-called Indianization. This, how is pronounced? Kurds. I think somebody knows the French may correct me. This scholar's name is G. Kurds. C-O-R. Kurds. Okay, fine. Fair enough. So he has written a phenomenal book. I will tell you the book later on. I'm just reading a paragraph. Pre-Orient civilization. You tell me what you are reminded of with regard to material culture of the pre-Orient civilization of the Southeast Asia. The cultivation of irrigated rice. Cultivation of the irrigated rice. What is considered the cradle of the rice cultivation in the world? Orissa, the Korakut region of Orissa, Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Cambodia, and southern China. These are considered to be the cradle of the rice cultivation. That is the reason International Rice Research Institute is located in Manila. Indian Rice Research Institute is located in Cuttack in Orissa. So this is the way the rice cultivation starts. Irrigated rice, domestication of the cattle and buffalo. I underline the word buffalo. Southeast Asians like it even today. We are actually today we have so much polluted. We are tolerating buffalo. Even when I am coming out of the house, if the buffalo come in front of me, suddenly I have a jerk and people say that no, Sagano Sarila, something like that. So then I saw a guy who was basically taking a cow to the 7th floor for the Garaga Pravesham. And I don't think even will he take a buffalo kid. And then buffalo is considered, whereas the buffalo is celebrated in Indus Valley. The place where the buffalo was domesticated was the Indus Valley. Where the place where the literature in which this buffalo was celebrated is Sangam literature. Annal Yeru, the word which is reserved for Annal Ambedkar and Annal Gandhi Edigal, used to be in Sangam literature as an Annal Yeru. Aninade Yerume. What a way to glorify. And this is the literature. The marriage function in Sangam literature starts with the married women and coming and the planting the buffalo horns on the ground. And that is what Pandakal. And after that, the whole ceremony of the marriage, how auspicious. And in Orissa and Chhattisgarh, our tribals are wearing a buffalo horn and dancing. In Indus Valley civilization, in the seal, we are seeing with the buffalo horn. Buffalo is the animal of the Indus Valley. Buffalo is the animal of Indian civilization. Buffalo is the animal of the Sangam literature. But later on, it became the vehicle of Lord Yama. So that's the reason one of my talk and book I complete with the last sentence in Tamil. எங்கள் எருமையின் மீது யமனை ஏற்றி வைத்தவன் யமன். So here in Southeast Asia, domestication of cattle and buffalo. India accounts for 80% of the Asian buffalo in the world. and 20% in Southeast Asia. With regard to the social system, even you will not get a picture in the any.com. You go to Indian buffalo picture, you won't get it in Indian photo. You get it in Thailand photo, Indonesia photo, Vietnam photo. A child reading seated on the buffalo, reading a book. I have read. I have seen my friends reading like that. In Sangam literature, there is a description that there is a small kid seated on the buffalo, going like this, looking like a monkey seated on the thing and all. So, what a phenomenal way the buffalo was celebrated. Here, look at the thing. Social system, importance of the role conferred on women. Sangam literature in this way. Relationship in the maternal line. அத்தை பொண்ணு மாமா பையன் மெட்டீரியல் மேட்டர் the cross cousin wedding and organization resulting from requirement of the agriculture, belief in animism, worship of ancestor with our பெருமை, god of the soil, திணை கடவுள்கள், shrines in high places, மேட்டு நிலத்தில் கடவுளின் சிலைகள், the burial of the dead in jars and dolmen, முதுமக்கள் தாயே பெருங்கல் காலம். Does it not look like a prehistoric picture of India, prehistoric picture of the South India, the picture given in the Sangam literature? But this is the Southeast Asia. And this is the book I am telling you, also the book. The so-called Indianization. Why? You may wonder. He has come to talk about the Aryan migration and dream. He is still not moved of the Southeast Asia. I would like to do that. You will understand why I am talking this. The so-called Indianization of Southeast Asia began around the beginning of the Christian era. The actual migration resulted usually not in the annihilation or complete eviction of the old occupants of the soil by the newcomers, but in adoption by the former of the language and customs, the conquerors or new ruling class. I prefer the word new ruling class rather than conquerors. So you go there, don't throw people. You impose your new language, your new culture, new mantras and slogans and other rituals. The Sanskrit element is important in the vocabulary of the languages spoken here in Southeast Asia. The alphabets are of the Indian origin. Indian customary laws and administrative organization influence the language. Certain Brahminic tradition persists even after converting to Islam and Sinhalese Buddhism. In Indonesia, is supposed to be an Islamic country. I have been to Indonesia, but the phenomenon is totally absolutely classical. And Buddhism in Thailand, you still see that so many people who talk to you are the Indian names and other things. The Indianization of farther India is the continuation overseas of a Brahmanization. This I am reading from quotes. 1968, Indianized States of Southeast Asia. Phenomenal book, I tell you. This book I had 30 years back, is one of the best book I ever read. That had its earliest focus in Northwest India. He is saying Indianization of Northern India is the continuation overseas of a Brahmanization that had its earliest focus in Northwest India. And that having begun well before Buddha continues to our day in Bengal as well as in South. The Brahmanization process which started well before Buddha in Northwest, even now continuing in places like West Bengal, Bangladesh of course now changed, and South India. And Neo-Kshatriya, I want to say, there's like you say that neo-landlords or neo-rich, you call Neo-Kshatriya, under Parambaran, if you were to translate in Tamil. Neo-Kshatriya, the strategy of lateral entry. Lateral entry is a very important word nowadays. You just enter laterally. You don't have to stand in the queue. Okay, right? Okay, you just come like that. And just put an application process, get it processed and the background and then lateral enter. So you don't have to really sweat your blood and you don't have to sacrifice your life. It's called lateral entry. So Neo-Kshatriya, the strategy of lateral entry. I'm reading Arthashastra. Arthashastra recommends the king, people in old or new country, either by taking the territory of another or by sending forth the excess inhabitants of his own. He is telling king, he is advising, either you go and take over the other country and old country or new country, and then if necessary, send your excess population to that area. So go and create, go and popularize, go and colonize, go and settle there. new settlements, elevation of native chiefs to the level of Kshatriya. So then suddenly you will find that local or Natamai, some Jamindar will be there with a Chemwood, other thing, or he will be telling that, okay, this is all 18, Padranati Patti, I am the guy. Okay, fine. So he this is a tribe and I am thinking all. So you convert him, you are a great Kshatriya. So you convert him to an Anda Parambara. So Kshatriya by means of, there is a ritual. Vratyostomi is the Brahminic rite for admitting foreigners into Orthodox community. By this ritual, even a foreigner can become a Kshatriya. When the British people took the Orissa area, the Puri, and that area, I read the entire history, I published books, I written articles, and when they came to took over the Puri, and then Karan Wallis wrote a letter to the captain from Bangor. They came with a lot of care. You be very, very careful when you are going to Puri and all. And they carry a recommendation letter from the Vishnupur Brahmins. And then they carry it for the Pandas in Puri. And then they came and met the foreigners. We consulted our Lord. That means Lord Jagannath they had consulted. And he has given a consent that you are a good guys and all. So then that is how the foreigners were taken. So that it's very easy. Actually, you give a grant. Shivaji got a problem. He had to bring the priest from Bengal and Orissa to declare himself as a Samrat. You know the Samrat story. So that means you become an Orthodox community. All regions of India contributed something to this expansion. Again, I am quoting him. And it was the South that played the greatest role. And the influence of Southern India on the whole was preponderant. I am talking about the money invested, the efforts invested, the efforts taken in Southeast Asia, Indianization, Hinduization of Southeast Asia. Though the whole country participated, the greater role played by South India, Pallavas, Cholas, and other people. And the reason, that is the medieval time. By the time, already the South India and Tamil Nadu was in the grip. We started forgetting the love. A girl falling in love with a boy girl loving and falling in love with a girl in Sangam literature and eloping. But that love become falling in love with God. That become the ritual medieval Bhakti Ilakya. That is a time where we ourselves were building temples. We were having the Ramayana Savadi and we were having a Mahabharata Savadi. Did you know any Tamil kings who ever took the Tirukural in his hand and talked to the people of Tamil Nadu? Do you know the name of any king who celebrated Sangam literature? I traveled all over Southeast Asia. I went to Angkor Wat. I've been in Vietnam. I've been in Cambodia. I've been in Indonesia. Wherever I go, in Angkor Wat, the entire celebration, only one Karaikal Ammayar. Was there a Tirukural? Thiruvalluvar statue? Or Tirukural sculpture? Or Sangam literature scene? So Hinduism, under the particular aspect of royal cult that it assumed in further India, was essentially an aristocratic religion which was not designed for the masses. Again, I am quoting him. A Sanskrit inscription in Champa says, the Brahman Kaundinya, having received a javelin means welcome, javelin throw, from the Brahman Aswatthama, son of Drona. Imagine, who is the son of Drona? Coming in Mahabharata, Aswatthama, name of an elephant as well as thing. And he takes a javelin throw from him, threw it to mark the location. He goes to Champa in Southeast Asia and throw the javelin. So where the javelin goes and throw, if you are throwing in Olympic, you will get a medal. If you throw it during the Champa, during the medieval age, where the javelin went and fell, that is his capital. This is what the inscription says. And to mark the location of his future capital, then married a daughter of the king of local Naga. Anybody local guy, anybody is a tribal, anybody different looking, he has to be called a Naga. In India, the same story. And that girl was named Soma. Soma is good to drink. Who gave birth to a royal life. So she is converted. She is a Kshatriya. She is the ruling class. The government of the country, Angkor and Sri Vijaya, was in the hands of aristocratic oligarchy. The great offices were held by the members of the royal family. The Brahminic families were often related to royal families. Marriages between Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, mind it, seem to have been frequent. These two castes representing the intellectual element of Indian culture constituting a class separate from and superior to masses. We know little about the life of the peasants and the farmers and villagers. Nothing is known. No inscription, no literature talks about that. Only Sangam literature talks about Sangam literature talks about the fisherwoman, the lady who is selling the salt, ordinary people, ordinary people's love. Only Sangam literature talks. The inscription give interminable list of the names of those slaves, Adimayam, whom we know nothing but their names, which were often very uncomplimentary epithets. Dog, cat, detestable, stinking, நாத்தம் பிடிச்சவன், எலி, மூஞ்சிரும். That signify the scorn in which these people were held. It sounds very familiar, na? 50 years back we had that. 40 years back we had that. Last century we had that in our own areas. Then coming to the last portion, Devaraja, the doctrine of nexus. There is a cult called Devaraja, where the priestly class and the local ruler or the tribe or somebody or the ruling class create a nexus. It is creating some new cult called Devaraja cult. And then this priest goes and claims that he has learnt magical science. Magical science from the Janapatha. You remember Janapatha in Mahabharata? He learnt Janapatha magic and went to Southeast Asia. And then he makes the Chakravarti. He declares he is a Samrat. And then suddenly he is not liking somebody. The Aryan is a king. He rid the country of a woman. A powerful woman was there. Maybe a ruler, a tribal lady, or a powerful fighter. Maybe a local puli, Najmal Nachia, or Jhansi Rani types, or this like. So he is similar, endowed with the formidable power, similar to a Rakshasi. Or Rakshasi. She was powerful like a Rakshasi and devastated the southern region, which he burned with his tongue. He put out his tongue and burned that area. As for Vijaya, Prince of Venkakar, beaten and obliged to flee. There was a king, local king. He is beating and obliging to flee, abandoning his wife, children, treasures, and royal vehicles. This is the story of Southeast Asia, how this was Indianized, Hinduized. I wanted to start the story from there and quickly have a look at it. This is the Mahabharata war scene depicted in the Angkor Wat temple. I have seen myself. Many of you must have seen. This is a drone view of the Angkor Wat temple. Let me tell you what has been excavated, not even 1/4 of what is there. Now I think ground penetrating radar and the satellite images are showing that a lot more yet to be excavated. But even today, this is the largest temple campus, Hindu temple campus anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. The largest temple is not in India. It is not in North India. It is not in South India. It is there in Angkor Wat. There is a statue for the small statue for Karekalamaya. Karekalamaya. That to see you know the story. Karekalamaya was walking using her hand and went to Kailasa. That is a different story. Thiruvananga to Tirupadiga. And this statue, this sculpture was sculpted 150 years before the same sculpture was done in Gangaikonda Cholapura. This is ancient. Okay. Now coming to this is the Indonesian airline. I have also traveled by this. This airline's name is a Garuda Airlines. And you go to Thailand. Many of you must have gone. I'll also be going. And in the airport arrival lounge, you will see Swarnabhumi Airport, Bangkok. This is a scenery of the Mandara Malai, Vasuki Pambu, and Devas and Asuras, and some dark guys and white guys and all. And they were actually churning the Amrita. And now recently, a similar mural has been kept in the Indian Parliament for information. So this is where. So I'd like to give few reference for your future reading. A history of Southeast Asia, Mr. Bhai Hall, and the Indian states of South Asia, I recommend. The Search for Lanka is a D.P. Mishra. This book also I had got it about 30 years back. I never know that he was once upon a time the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh. I was just reading. He was a teacher, then he was a professor, then he was a vice chancellor, then he becomes a MLA, then he becomes the speaker, then become a minister. Then now only just 1 week back I was reading a entire biodata. His last line is quietly written, he was the chief minister of Madhya Pradesh for this many years. Can you imagine that? So this man has written the Search for Lanka. So this is the first part of my presentation. I have presented before a story of the Southeast Asia, where the Raja, Ravan, Sita, Ayodhya, Kanchanapuri, and Drona, Indrapura, everything has gone. And there is a process. How is the process done? Who are the creating a nexus? And how the lateral entries are made. And now not many people have forgotten those names. That's a different story. I will come to the second part of my presentation. And before that, I will give the abstract and the methodology. I think, let me tell you, this talk is going to be a bit longer. Let me forewarn you. And this is a 20th September. What needs to be spoken has to be spoken. And you feel free. But it has to be spoken. Abstract and methodology. This presentation puts forth specific thematic identical place name clusters in different geographical regions and argues in favor of the Aryan migration theory. There is a theory called Aryan invasion theory, who is blaming Aryans that they came and demolished the Harappan cities and Mohenjo-daro. Even Mortimer Wheeler went to the level of telling that these dead bodies were floating, these, that, and all. And the Aryans came and did. And Indra stands accused, he wrote. And I don't subscribe. Many people don't subscribe. There was nothing called such a big war because there is no evidence of war. There was not even weapon. I think Indus people were the peace-living people. The walls they constructed not for the defense. It was more for the flood production. The burnt brick meant for the protecting from the flood. Sometimes the water will come and stay for 10 days like that. It's a flood protection, highly sophisticated. They were not believing in pyramids or the big temples and kind of thing, but they had a kupai toti and good roads and the streets and the Kalipanikan. And it's a different type of story. So I don't subscribe to Aryan invasion theory. I subscribe to Aryan migration theory, AMT. Because I have always subscribed to Dravidian migration theory also. If I can subscribe to Dravidian migration theory and build the narrative of the Indus Valley civilization with the help of Sangam literature, why not? So I will give the evidence for that. The connecting threads of identical name clusters in this presentation are euphemistically. I want to text up. So make it a little more, to make it kavarchi, to make it glamorized. So euphemistically, I want to call this a Rig Indra Gandhara complex. There is a reason for it. As an acronym, it reads the Rig. I like it. And second thing, it represents Rig Indra, one book, important Vedic text, that to earliest Vedic. One important personality, Indra. He comes in Veda, he comes in Ramayana, he comes in Mahabharata also. Even he figures in Sangam literature also. And then Gandhara is a place and then people also. It's coming in Mahabharata, mentioned in Veda also, mentioned in Ramayana also. Many people don't know that. So it comes in all the three. That's how the name is how recycle. I will explain. So put together, I would like to call this a Rig complex. This author used the same methodology while proposing the cavity, which I followed while proposing cavity complex, Kottai Vanji Thundi in 2010 in Coimbatore. Cavity complex provides evidence for the probable Dravidian affiliation of the language of IVC and the context and directions of Dravidian migration. For the cavity complex, Sangam Tamil corpus, one of the earliest classical texts, was present as the prime reference. Similarly, this presentation deploys the Vedic text, the two grand epics, the Ramayana and Mahabharata, as telltale corpuses for the Rig complex. The same way I use the Sangam literature for the building of the cavity complex theory, I am using this literature. I want to introduce a book. I think you Google for it. There was a conference in Austria. Sometime I think that it was in 2019, 6 to November. It's a conference on the geographical names of the world. It's a United Nations conference organized by United Nations. There was a sitting on the place names and migration. Was almost about 10, 12 people presented an excellent paper. So I want to give certain theoretical position. What happens when the people move around? When collective migration takes place, who goes with them? And whom they take along? Can they carry their hills? Can they carry their house? People have gone to Singapore. People have gone to Malaysia. People have gone to other parts of the world, chameleons. What they sent? Some people were forcibly sent to South Africa, Mauritius. They took their Muniyamma, Muniyandi, Karupasamy, and Murugan. And then now people are little more sophisticated. They are going on IT job. They construct Venkateswara temple in thing. And prior to that, earlier in 400 years back, it used to be Karupasamy and Muniyandis in South Africa and Mauritius and Reunion Island and other places, even in Malaysia. Okay, then what is there in the carry bags? If any, what happens to the gods and goddesses? They walk, do they stay back or move with them? Gods go with them. Place names supply in full measure linguistic information. This is the first para I have written in JOC. Second thing is a F.T. Wainwright. Place names supply in full measure linguistic information of a kind that is absent in archaeology, as he pointed out, and usually ignored or blurred in historical record. This is not recorded in the historical records. Because historical records is always, most of the time, written by Vadakai Pulavar. Is a hired people. And is there any inscription where the king has been told that there was a fault with my king? No. A people clings tenaciously to its own way of identifying itself. As a result, these naming tend to survive linguistic and geographical shifts. George Stewart's. Even after people moving, migrating, this name, as it is, survive linguistic shift, geographical shift. In Southeast Asia, Ben will bring in Tamil's head because he has heard it in Sangam literature. Oh, Korkai, Korkayo, Vanji, Pua Vanji, Putta Vanji, Tundi, Tundiyo, Tundi will ring. So you won't tell the Korkai Vanji Tundi to a guy in UP or a Sanskrit Pandit in North India. He will not know what he is talking. He may not know. He may be knowing a Kanchipuram or something like that. But Korkai Vanji Tundi, he will not know. So I didn't even select, I am from Madurai. I didn't select Madurai. There is a place called Madurai in Indus Valley, but I did select cautiously because that will be linked with Madura near Agra. So I did not want to take a chance. I wanted to select some name which nobody knows. Nobody will claim. That will anybody claim KVT? Only I will claim and you will claim. Then similar thing. And second thing, such names shall not have a parallel claim in the identity narrative of other ethno-linguistic group. First condition, without this, you cannot create the identity. I cannot create my identity as a Tamil with Kotkai, Vanji, Tundi, Chera, Chola, Pandian, Validi, Maran, Killi, and this is how I will create my narrative. And then, as was done in the case of KVT complex, this author consciously avoids the etymological trap which might lead to folk etymologies. I don't get into the business of finding the meaning of the place name. Place names are fossilized. You don't look for the meaning. Honestly speaking, I don't know the meaning of Kotkai. Caldwell says that it's a Pullum Kai. The waves are coming and taking away the people. No, I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't know the meaning of Vanji. Even Sangam poet was not knowing. He was making a pun of the word saying that Pua Vanji il Putta Vanji. Vanji in Kodi, Vanji in the city, Pua Vanji il Putta Vanji. No one. Pur was a place name, but he does know. Sirupu was a name of a Malay in Sangam. He calls the Vidya Cherupu. By the time Cherupu was a chapel, and then this chapel, if you say that suppose somebody says that he is coming from the Cherupu hill, but he will not be misunderstood. So he says that Vidya Cherupu. And there is already a hill called Kudurai Malay, Kudurai Malay in Karnataka. And Sangam literature says, Oda Kudurai. If some fellow says that I went to Kudurai and come back, no, you can only go on Kudurai. How can you go to Kudurai? And he may ask, Kudurai. So he says, Oda Kudurai. So that means I don't get into the business of finding the names, meaning for the names, because it's a trap. In somebody near Thiruvallur, Navapatnam, they were given all kind of meaning. Adi Akka Mangalam. And somebody was standing with two ladies were there. This was calling Adi Akka Mangalam. Like that, you call that it become Adiyaka Mangalam. Actual meaning is that Adiyak is a group of Brahmins. And Adiyak, the Mangalam was a place given to them as a free of tax. So Adiyak Mangalam. So it's become Adiyaka Mangalam. So like that, I don't get into that business because that's a trap. Then I will move into the these segments. I told that how do I go it? The KVT complex, you are all familiar. And this map, a lot of people must have seen in internet and all these things, you must have seen it, cavity complex. Next, you see the reed complex is also a conscious choice. Cavity complex is a conscious choice. I chose from Sangam Tamil. Reed complex is also a conscious choice. These names are integral to the identity of the Indo-Aryans as a linguistic family and connected ideologies. You cannot construct an Aryan ideology without Rig, without Indra, and without Gandhara. The association of these names with the Vedic Ramayana and Mahabharata is significant. These names move as people move. The same way Kokkai NG Tondi move as the people move. These names were either removed or removed the ancient layers of other linguistic group of Indian subcontinent. I don't make any difference here. I am unbiased. I'm truthful in my arguments. But at the same time, can you imagine having found this data in my computer in 2002, 3, 4? I have waited 32 years to make this announcement. I could have rushed to media. I could have given a talk in 2000. I focus in my job. KVT complex, I found it sometime in 2003-4. I waited 7 years to announce this in Coimbatore conference. I didn't even make a mention about to anybody because I'm not in a hurry. When I speak, I want irrefutable evidence that where I can meet the evidence, defend every word I speak, every para I write. So this is my style of doing research because I am not a professional researcher. I am not an academician. So I have my own job to do, and this is my passion. Okay, R for Rig. In the first one, Rig. Vedic place names and personal names are toponyms in the region west of Asia. I put it. This Rig complex. I for Indra. Indra is the most frequently referred to deity in the Rig Veda and other Sanskrit texts. Here I just see these books, Indra hymns of the Rig Veda. Indra is the most mentioned personality in Rig Veda. There is a separate book, Indra hymns of the Rig Veda, J. Konda, E.J. Brill, 1989. Indra is the most referred. Indra mentioned multiple times in Ramayana. See the other evidence. Indra mentioned in Mahabharata as Arjuna's spiritual father. Like Pandavas had a spiritual father, and like a Vayu and Surya. And for Arjuna, the Indra was mentioned as the spiritual father. So then I have chosen this particular or I. Then also next is Gandhara. G for Gandhara, I chose it because you know the Gandhari story. And coming to the next page, Gandhara is the name of a people in the northwest India. It is mentioned in Rig Veda. A good wool of the sheep. Gandhara is also mentioned in the Mujavan, Sangas, Magadas in Atharva Veda. And Gandhara, the land of Gandharvas in Ramayana. Gandhara mentioned in Mahabharata. So that means Rig is relevant to all three, Indra is relevant to all three, and Gandhara is relevant to all three, but they are identified in something. Gandhara means not many people remember Mahabharata only, but the fact remains associated. Okay, this is what I am doing it in thing. So we have discussed that. Now I am coming to the Mahabharata. So I am not basically going, I gone systematically. This is a book, an index to the names in the Mahabharata. Probably, I don't know whether it's available online. You can buy, I think it must be available in the library. And then I think archive.com, I don't know whether they have. But there is a book where all the names of the places, names of the people, Sura, Asura, kings, the tribes, and then insects, birds, every name is mentioned. One of the two grand epics in Sanskrit, I don't want to say more precisely about a war fought in Northeast Asia. Next. It's not a rocket science. Since I am putting the book of the very high-sounding book, to make this cluster, you don't even look at it. I want to make it, I want to reassure all of you, it's not a rocket science. I just wanted to use the Wikipedia. Cluster making, name clusters of Mahabharata from Wikipedia. So I went to, after reading all this book for three decades, and just few days back I went to Wikipedia Mahabharata. And I only made the bold of all the names mentioned. Okay, King Janamejaya, ancestor of Santanu, his ancestor Santanu, king of Hastinapura. And then he had a short-lived marriage with a girl, lady called Ganga, goddess. And then he has a son Devarata. Later to be called, he was only called Bhishma. Then he is going for hunting. Then suddenly he is Satyavati, the daughter of the chief of the fisherman. So he wants to marry. That fisherman says that no, I will not give in marriage unless you give a promise that you will give the ruling position to the daughter born of my daughter, a son born of my daughter, like that. So Santanu also has two sons by Satyavati already. Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. That Bhishma gave a promise to this fisherman girl that saying that he will maintain celibacy. He will be brahmacharya so that he doesn't give birth, so that he doesn't come for the contest for throne. So then he was going to Kasi side. So Kasi king is doing a Swamvara. And then he is having three daughters. And Amba, Ambika, Ambalika. And then he is a Brahmin. Then he suddenly decides to participate in the Swamvara. But he cannot marry. Why he is participating in the Swamvara is that he is basically doing the Swamvara for his brother. I mean, he has delegated himself the responsibility. So he goes and wins the Swamvara. So all the three girls he is taking them, abducting. And then one girl cries that I am already in love with one fellow. And his name is Salva. And he was defeated in this one. So he says, okay, you go and live with him. These two girls I give to my brother. And then she goes to Salva. Salva said, I am already lost. It's my izzat, it's my pride. I cannot marry you. So she gives like this. You just go to the Wikipedia. Next page. Next page. Bolder. Like this, you can create a glossary. It is as easy as and going and downloading from the Wikipedia and bold it, and you are with a cluster. This is called Mahabharata cluster. I read that book and noted years together, and all the book it is a very easy thing. Okay, come to that. I have purposely all this name, each name I have mentioned is a significant name. This is an area outside India. There are some names I purposely made it is because the last row you may not be able to read it. Every name is important. Every name I have mentioned is an important from the Mahabharata point of view. Mahabharata place name, Kurukshetra, every battlefield, Kyrgyzstan, Kurukse, Tajikistan, Kurukse, Turkmenistan, Kurukse, Mathura, place of Krishna, Georgia, Mathura, Georgia, Indraprastha, Pakistan, Indraji, Prabhas is a Telugu actor, I think. He is a place name. And a famous place in Gujarat during Mahabharata period. Mahabharata says a famous place in Gujarat is in Iran. Is the only place. Prabhas is a place name. Azerbaijan, civil base, Madhya Pradesh, Madhavaram territory, Iran, Iraq, civil. You read this name. Kasi is a very, very popular name. Starting from Iran, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan. You see that area, archaeological area. Asta is a place, a mountain in the west where the sun sets. Astamana, we say that is Astamikira idam. Astama. Asta. I don't know whatever I don't believe in etymology, but maybe the reason I don't know. But in Iran, Asta is a place. Asik is a river. Iran, Iraq. Kandava. You must have seen Kambaramayana. Kandava. In the Mahabharata also Kandava Vanam, Mahabharata, Pandava Vandal, Vanavasam, all kind of things. So Tajikistan is a Kandav. Afghanistan is the Kandav. Anga. Normally we say that Anga is the Karna's place. It is in the bigger side. But the Anga is in Pakistan and Iran. Ange, Afghanistan. Kalinga. It is always associated in Sangam literature also that it is with Orissa. But it's a Kaling in Iran and Kalinga. Pandav. Pandav is a very important 5 people. But Afghanistan, Pandav. And then Arjun, great hero of Mahabharata. Iran, Arjun. Keep it in mind, Southeast Asia, where we travel, we took Rama, Sita, Ravan, Arjun, Pandav, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, Big, Pakistan, Nakul, Pakistan, Dharma, Pakistan, Iran, Vayu, Turkmenistan, Indra, his spiritually father Arjun. Look at that name. Look at the Georgia corner. This is an area you have to understand. That says a Black Sea, this is a Caspian Sea. Above that you go there, you see the top of that you see the steppe grazing area, Steppe Meichelilam. And then in the Veda and other literature, people often talk about Eastern Sea, Western Sea. I will show that the Eastern Sea and Western Sea, it is not the Arabian Sea and West Bengal, Bay of Bengal. I am seeing that the Eastern Sea, Western Sea, when you travel, probably it's a Caspian Sea and Black Sea, not my Bay of Bengal and Arabian Ocean. So that is it. That is how it moves. And Tusala, only one daughter of Dhritarashtra, sister of Gauravas, Pakistan, Tusala, Gandhari, Kunti in Iran, Ganga, Pakistan, Iran, Vishnu, Panjali, Sakun, Salva. Salva is the guy who went for that Swayamvara, and Amba was in love with him, and Bhishma sent him back, and he refused to marry her. She took a oath that I will kill you. Ultimately, Bhishma will be, I will be reason for death. She is born as a Sikandi, and Chikandi come in the Mahabharata, and then the Bhishma was not killed till Chikandi comes there. She comes. This is the story goes. Amba, eldest daughter of the Kasi. Look at the Amba. Iran, Pakistan. Ambalika. Look at it, Afghanistan. Ambika. Ambika. This is South. And I am just giving some of the name. Like say, look at, can you believe this name? Mahabharata, if you go to story, Mahabharata, who wrote Mahabharata? Vyas. That Vyas name will sort of thing. Finally, we'll have a Vyasa body. Then the whole group will move. Ayodhya Kupa will be there. And then Vyasa body will be there. It will go to Southeast Asia. And finally, it will come. Then this Lanka is this Lanka. And this fellow took away. And the thing and all, Pandav, Panjav, this kind of thing. Finally, Ayodhya Kupa, Vyasa body. Because that Vyasa is supposed to be a fisherman thing. So that is a fisherman area, not Chennai. Okay, you have a Vyasa body and all. Okay, you have an Ayodhya Kupa. So whereas Ganesha, there is a story that actually Mahabharata was written by Ganesha as Vyas was dictating. So he broke the thing and all, he was writing. So then, can you imagine if you find Ganesha as a place name? But I don't know whether this Ganesha is my Vilaya, whether this Ganesha is my Vinayaka, or this Ganesha is this Ganesha, or this Ganesha and Mahabharata Ganesha. Ganesha is mentioned in Ramayana, Ganesha is mentioned in Veda. So which Ganesha? But Ganesha for me, Ganesa, Sha, that's all. I don't look at it in meaning, because this is how I went about my studies. That's why I am accurate. The reason for me is the cluster of the consonant and vowels. There is either a vowel or a consonant. I can give a tag. That is how the binary computer language understands that way. It doesn't care about the meaning. I will hand over the entire data to the artificial intelligence. I will decode it. This is the way you have to go about it. It's a simple code. It's a constant and vowel. G followed by A, followed by N, followed by E, followed by S, X, A. That's the end of it. So then if all this cluster, okay, if all these clusters again coming in America, okay, I surrender. Somebody say that Salem, somebody came and asked me, there is a Salem in America. Do you think that Salem was created by our Congo guys? No. I said, in Jerusalem also there is a Salem. But in the same way, if the Salem is accompanied by Sulu, Kovai, Kangayam, Erode, Abhinasi, and the entire group comes in one area, then I will seriously give a thought. It's a cluster. Then I will try to understand how it happened. But that is the reason you have to be careful. That when isolated, I found one name. Oh, it looks like Tamil. So that's what everything came from Tamil. And that's a no. It's an algorithm. It's a database. Absolutely data finds. So I will go. It could be even some places K will become a Q in some country. Adik, so that means ADIK, it will ADIQ will be there. So has to be, it's a very painstaking. It takes years of you, day and night, after coming from office. I have worked in art for 30 long years. The way I worked on JOC, I have worked it and left it as such 20, 30 years back. Now taken it last 2 months, day and night, from 8 o'clock to midnight. And I have breathed only this. Look at this Kalki name. Kalki is an avatar. It's yet to take place. But we had a Kalki ashram nearby Chennai. You know the history. So Kalki is we know the Kalki. Okay, but Kalki is a place name. So Panjali, Kuru, Vasudev, Markandeya, Devaki, Manas, Ganesha, Indra, Kanika, Sukra, Kuru, Menaka, all the names. Some names only I have put it in the highlight so that the last row you are able to see it. I have the data. Next page. So now what I did it, of all this thing I have seen, the same name will have a equivalent in India. When you move into India, what will happen? In Iran or some places it will be just Vyas. It will be Rama or someplace Ram, Sita. But when it comes to the India, it will become Rampur. Then it will come to South India. Then towards South India, it will become Rampura. Then it is come to the in Tamil Nadu, it will become Ramapuram near Porur, Ramapuram. Ramapuram. So then it will go to Rameshwaram. So like that, Ammi Trivigidi, and then it will become a Tamilized or South Indianized Vyasar from Ayodhya from type it will come. But the root word is that Vyas, Asur will be there. So then I put all the exact matches where it happens in India. Then the whole map will be, because I have all the places I have the name, all the places I have a latitude, a longitude, but it will be looking very bizarre to look at it. So I converted into a dot so that you call it a density map. Look at this. I think I come to the theory of the Rajesh Kochar and all, the sequencing of the Ramayanam and Mahabharata. There is a two different view among the historians, archaeologically speaking, which one is the earlier. People may not believe it. So look at it. Which area is the density? The density upper Gangetic and then middle Gangetic and the eastern Gangetic plains. And absolutely the westward, it is a very black area. When it comes to the Gujarat, the Indus area, it's hardly anything. And it comes into the South India as the religion spread and the Chola comes and start constructing temple and then later Pandyas and think Cheras become separate Kerala. And to this guy, Pallavas bring the Grantha, Pallava Grantha, and for the first time, Arjun Dabas and the Butterball in Mahabalipuram and Arjun Dava, Panjabandava Kugai. All these things comes through the Pallava period and the Chola period, and it gets into that. But there's a resistance. You cannot have a Sudran, Vaisya, Brahmana, and that kind of names here. Still, I am still searching for it. It's not happening. Even if it is coming, it will come like along with some patti or some palli kind of thing. It is a density map. The density makes it very, very clear. This name essentially belongs to that region. And when it comes to that, it comes with the suffix. When it comes to the South India, it becomes thin. Okay, next. Ramayana. I take this book. The Ramayana paper. Oh, same thing. Separate. So we put it together. Okay. So there is a book called An Index to the Proper Names occurring in Valmiki's Ramayana by Manmat Nath Rai, edited by Urnath Sastri, Varanasi, published. I have this book. I have thoroughly read. I note down in my Excel sheet and taken absolute notes about that. The story, you know that Valmiki, I need not say that, jubilation. The whole story goes. Come to the map. If you see, I have seen hundreds and hundreds of names. I was amazed. The Ramayana place name, then I located how is the hill, river. I was kept on taking notes. Then I took a note that the place there will be a hill. Then the Valmiki Ramayana tell this is a hill where the Sugriva was asking his people to go and search for Sita. So search for Sita. Then Sugriva asked to search for Sita. Then people went for search for Sita and not find and ransacked that hill. So then I put all the notes in Excel sheet, searched for Sita and ransacked after not finding. So where all Sita was searched. So to the story which I know that she should be logically searched in via Tamil Nadu, somebody should go to Sri Lanka and search there, or on the way they should search. I was locating what Valmiki Ramayana says that Sita was searched and the place was ransacked. There is a place, a hill in the west, Valmiki Ramayana says, where Sita was searched. The place is Alexita. 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 We see the places, Georgia, Alakotsi, Alakitsi, Azerbaijan, Alexei. That means when you make a place, I am from Madurai, mean Madurayon. If I'm from Kotkai, Kotkayon, Vanjiyon, and then people of Madurai, Londoner, and he is the Berliner, like that, you always create from the name a person from that place. If a guy is coming from Lanka, he is a Lankan. He is an Azerbaijanian. He is an Armenian. So like that, all over the world, the person's identity will be created. So Alexita Alexei is a place in Azerbaijan. Alexita. Andhra, Valmiki Ramayana says that in the south, Sugriva asked Angada to go there and search for Sita. I thought Sita and the Ramayana story is taking place in Gangetic plain, and they must have already actually naturally asked to go to the south and search for this Andhra. So this Andhra which we created as state. So then I was surprised to say that Pakistan, there's Andhra is there. Georgia, Andhra is there. Pakistan. Darada, a country ransacked in search of Sita. In Iran, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Jatapura, a town in west, where Sita, west of what? Afghanistan, Jata, Kailasa, Iraq, Kailasin, Kailaspi, Kailachi. Then I also found that probably I am trying to understand, I will go for my future studies about the suffix pattern. We call Ganga. And then when it write in Tamil, we will say that Gangai. Gangai, Kaila, Kailesana, Kailai. Mailapur will say Mailai. So that means I eat Vigdi. And that's the kind of concept which we have. I was surprised. I have to really, in my future studies, I need to get to the bottom of it, where I see that Kailai. And then Georgia, a range of hills in north, ransacked in search of Sita. Kala. So many, Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan. Look at the Kala. See, this is what I call as a cluster. You touch anywhere. I can come and give you a latitude, and explain this particular cluster. Range of hills ransacked in search of Sita, common, Afghanistan, Iran. Kerala, I thought it's in south. Because that Kerala was created by when the Parasurama came this side with a malu in his hand. What is that? Malu is an axe. Axe in his hand, he put it on the map. Indian map, and just separately created a thing. This is what the Parasurama myth is always the fight between the priestly class and Kshatriyas. That's how it is signaled. In south, where the Sita was searched, Afghanistan, Iran. I'm not you. I don't know. With this Kerala, that Kerala is one and the same. I'm telling you, I'm not getting into the etymology. I am going by the absolute database. And then I will prove on that paper. Pakistan, Kurunada, Kuru, Panchala, Magiska, Malava, Mlecha. This word is used even in Sangam literature. Udambin Urakkum, Uraya Navin, Padambuhu Vilecha. There is a terminology used. I think it's in Mullai Potter, I think. Mullai Potter, Nadanal Badi. I think most likely Mullai Potter. And Udambin Urakkum, Uraya Navin, Padambuhu Vilecha. Satai Potter, Udambin Urakkum. He cannot speak a language, he speaks a foreigner type of thing. Uraya Navin, either he cannot speak or his language cannot be thing. And Padambuhu Vilecha, he is wearing a shirt. That fellow is called Vilecha. You see that the Sanskrit literature always Milacha means a barbaric fellow whose language cannot be understood. But Milecha, absolutely a place name in Iran. Is a place name in Iran. How can it be accidental? All this, how this cluster can be accidental? And Murashipatana, Pusataka, a land of cannibals where Sita was searched. So in Valmiki Ramayana, there is a place called Purusataka is mentioned. That place is explained. This is an area where the cannibals are living. Like cannibals are living when you see that there's what is that movie? Bahubali. Bahubali, there's one guy will be villain, Kalakaya. What is his name? Kalakaya. So there's a language was found, computer language, and he was speaking something like Kalakaya. So like that, Kalakaya is a place name. I will show you that. Okay, this Purusataka is a guy, is a cannibal area. So why they must have come to a conclusion is that Purush, three Purush. Purush means men, people. Purush. Purusataka. அவன் என்னமோ சாதம் மாதிரி போட்டு சாப்பிட்டான் போட்டு புருஷ் எல்லாம் அவன் சாப்பிட்டதுனால அவன் கனிபல். So அவன் இருந்த ஏரியா வந்து cannibal, where the people are living. I am going and finding in Pakistan, Pursat is a place. A fellow is from Pursat, is a Pursatada. Pakistan, Pursatak is a place. Pursatak is a place in Pakistan. A fellow comes from that place is called Pursataga. And what the meaning given is a cannibals. So this is how the history moves. So we have to be very carefully analyze that. And then names of the hills in Ramayana. I am not repeating all the names. I am not repeating all the names. I have only selected so that I have to run through the entire thing. I have a huge database. I took the names of the hills, mountains, water bodies, place names mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana and compared with this country. And look at it. Gangarli, Meru Malai, Nandan, Gangai, Tandak, Tamasa. Next one. And the names of the kingdoms and towns and villages, regions mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana. Kiskinda Kandam. Aranya Kandam. Aranya is a place. Kiskin is a place. Lanka is a place. Abike, Kekai, Kaikeyi. She is from Kekai. One who belongs to Kekai is a Kaikeyi. One who belongs to Gandhara is Gandhari. Mithila. If the Mithila is in Uttar Pradesh or Eastern Uttar Mithila, and then how this Mithila is here, how the Kosala is there, how the Panjal is there, how the Aryu is there, how this Puskalavadi, Pushkin. Ultimately, many of the foreign presidents and prime minister, you will find that they are basically placed in found in Veda also. Pushkin. Not only that, but all these people, I'll tell you, you want it's very. When I was reading last 2 months, I was absolutely taken aback. I was locating Amarkava and then Toranalu, Kiskin, and where is the Lanka? Which Lanka we are talking about? Bali. Bali is the place. Kusa, Kundra. Okay, next go to them. There also Ayutta is there. So Aksai. Then personal names found in Ramayana identified as a place name clusters in region. I am not reading it. Markandeya, Markand, Janaka, Maudilkeya, Maudu. There is a place, there is a Brahmin group in Rajasthan and Himachal Pradesh. They are called Mudgil Brahmin. Okay, I have written an article in Tamil Nadunjalai when I wrote the Todar in Anand Vigadan. I have written something about the Peril Enna Illai. I have mentioned about the Ravan. There is a temples in Ravana. In North India, people used to ask me, sir, I think how about the South India? They have a very, very sketchy idea about our place. Then somebody was seriously asking me, sir, is it a fact that in your area, you people are having a temple for Ravana and you are all worshiping for Ravana and all? I don't know, I'm not worshipping Ravana. I have nothing to do with Ravana and all. I think at all there is some mild Ravana is there. Our mild Ravana and Annasami, Anadura is there, and other people, some people are mentioned as the Ravana Kaviyam, Pulanda is written, all kind of things is there. But otherwise, I'm not having seen any temple for Ravana. But whereas, if there is a temple for Ravana, it's near Delhi. There is a temple where the Ravana. There is a place called Madhya Pradesh. I there Madso. They said the Mandodari was born here, and that is the reason it's a Mandodari. There is a temple for Ravana with a 10 thing. There is a temple. If there is a temples for Ravan, it's only in North India. The southernmost temple is in the Andhra Pradesh, northern Andhra Pradesh, nothing after that. I have visited a tribal group in Maharashtra, Umravati Hills, and then in that area, there is a place, Ravana, son of Ravana, who is a son of Ravana, like Nannan say Nannan, and they call themselves as a Ravana Vamsi. When Ram Leela was celebrated, these tribals of Chhattisgarh and Maharashtra and this region take a procession to the collector's office and give a petition. It's not good. Why are you burning Ravana and he's our man? So they go and give a petition. Collector receives the petition every year and keeps and files it. And go and Google for it. Tribal protesting Ram Leela or Ravana. You read it, they are all in the Gond people in Chhattisgarh, in Madhya Pradesh, in Maharashtra. And they call one of the tribal, that Kutkuk group, Austronesian tribal group. I have been to that place, and they call themselves Ravana Vamsi. And then this is the way the history moves. You have to understand, for understanding of the history, there is no singular way. It has to be transdisciplinary. It has to be interdisciplinary. You have to use the technology. You need to talk anthropology. You need to talk the sociology. You need to know the science. You have to talk about the genetics. There is no singular way of understanding society. It's very complex. That is the reason complex issue always have the easier solution. That is the reason I come up with the KBT complex and RIC complex. This complex problem of India has an easy solution of the place names. I will go to that. So, like this Maugili, this particular Brahmins in North in Rajasthan, they say that Ravana is a Brahmin and he belongs to our group, Maugil Brahmin. When Ram Leela is celebrated, when Ravan is burnt, we actually mourning it. They go into mourning because he is our man. It's in North India. It's not a story. I think, but whereas there is absolute misunderstanding of putting which Lanka. You go to Southeast Asia, they say that Lanka. A man has written such of Lanka. He said that if any fellow telling this Sri Lanka is that Lanka, he's a fool, he says. The chief minister, former chief minister, he says that they're least informed. There is nothing like that, he writes. You see that book. And Tara Singhi, Asura, Valmiki, and Valmiki, Asur, Markandeya, Aksai. I'm not reading all these things. Go to the next slide. Personal names of Asuras of Ramayana. I took away only Asuras. Identified as a place name clusters in region Western Northwest. See that Angura, Asur, Mahodri is a thing, Matta is an Asur, and Aksai is an Asur. And these are the name of the Asur guys who are called. I think in Iranian area, Abur Masda, they say sometimes they say that yes become ha sound. That is the reason they said that Hapta, Sapta, and Saraswati become Hairavati, or something like that. They say Asur become Ahur, and they say. But my place name I said that is both is there. Yes is there, SH is there. Also, I took the Ahuran also, whichever way within Iran. This is where the Asuras are there. That means both the heroes and villains are there only. Next. Personal names of sages. Sages we receive of Ramayana identifies a place name. Kavas is a Kavasa Muni. Kavas. Angirasa Muni. Madanka Muni. Durvasa Muni. Valmiki. Agastya. Look at in Georgia. Georgia beyond that, near Georgia. Agastya. That means we say that Agastya came with a Vadabal Muivan Tadavinil Tondri. Purnanu says that Valimure Vanda Vere. How that's what I know Sir also must have mentioned. Many have written. My language is not waiting to be written, and somebody is to carry my language and come from the north and give the language. Oh, I keep this Tamil with you before Tolgapiyam. Oh, I written the first grammar was written by Agastya. No, he is very popular. Agastya Malay, Kuttaram side, you go to Kerala, Agastya Malay, Agastya Kupam, all fine, I don't know. But don't tell that he created Tamil. Don't tell that Tamil came along with the Sanskrit from the two sides of the Udukai of Sivan. No. Languages don't come out of Udukai. Languages come from the throat. It comes from the basically from the physical body of a human being. It doesn't come that way. So look at the Agastya. And then this is the way the stories are built. That's nothing. I'm telling you. This is the same way the stories are built by the Dravidians also. That is the reason I already clarified. It doesn't talk any racial connotation. I have first spoken about the Dravidian migration. I am now talking about human migration. It is a very natural. The human being don't stay in one place. Then why you have come to now US? How you are in the Singapore having the Murugan temple? How you are having the Pattu Hills in Malaysia? How you are celebrating all these things? How the gods have gone across. So this is how humans never stay in one place. That is the reason. Don't take it this way or that way. We also did the same thing. Next. Janak, Alamcha. Okay, next. Let's quickly. So personal names clusters in Ramayana identified as a place name clusters in region. I'm telling you, if I give my all data, I need Mahabharata one day, Ramayana one day, Veda one day, Southeast Asia one day. But I have to, because this is a day, 20th September. This has to be spoken. And that is the 100th anniversary. This is the day we were waiting for. This is the direct building from 2018. The truth has to be spoken, whichever way. Truth has to be accepted. And we accept the truth. When I was a student, I was brought up with Lemuria, Tumari. I'm a Tamil student. I'm a BA Tamil, MA Tamil. I studied nothing. I believe that way. When truth guided me differently, when I found Kurkai Vanjitondi, I had an open mind to accept the truth. Because ultimately, truth is overwhelming. Truth is much more important than the faith and beliefs you are carrying. So look at the name. Sita, Manusmriti, Manu, Lakshman Chotra, Mandora, Vasuki, Vasuki Pambu, Vasuki. Vasuki is having both Vasuki and Vasuki. Look at that place. Vasuki, Pallavan, Kalki, Tarakis, Marichan. Marichan is the man. Marisha man. Marisha. All Araki, Brahma, Manu, Yama, Ravana, Kanakeya. This movie. I still remember Kalakia coming with a huge language. Well, I understand that the language was constructed using a computer. They created a new language, which we say Kalakia will speak in Bahubali movie, so that it's not understood by any humans or computer generated language. But Kalakia is a guy, he's from that area. So Kyrgyzstan, Chandalas, Ravan, Matsya. So you name any caste, any community, any tribe, any rishi, any sage, any asura, sura, asura, deva, asura, everybody. Next. I put that in Indian map. Map cannot be right. The names, how it's getting populated. So I decided to put a density map. This is how it looks. Again, look at the western side, western area. Look at the concentration, Gangetic Valley, and it's also spreading into South India as the history moves, as the philosophy moves, as the culture moves, as the new kings are coming and the new people are coming. The Sangam literature itself already started having the influence of the Vedic, and that is how the Sangam literature resists it. Sangam literature plays one of the extraordinary cultural politics the world has ever seen. That is the reason Aryan Padikaran talks about the education for everybody. That is the reason Wangudi Bharadanav says, Panan Parayan Kadamban Putinabe Innan Pradam Pudiyim Ilave. He talks about it. Varave Tinaye, Avare Kundu, Innan Getum, the Unavum Ilave. He knows the Nel, Nelugutu Paravu Kadamum Ilave. That means one of the classical literature which talks an important cultural politics is Sangam literature. But in Sangam literature, Palyagasala, Yubam, Velvi, everything is there. Then that's a philosophy. That's the reason the resistance. After that, the resistance have gone. Probably we are trying to resist now. Probably we have rediscovered ourselves. Probably that is the reason. That is the reason we want to celebrate John Marshall, the man who came and told that something is buried. This is something different. This is very ancient. And then I would never. He has done an extraordinary job. It is the duty of us that after 100 years, we have to burn the midnight oil. Nobody will finance us. No budget provision will be made by anybody for that purpose. You have to spend your own time. And you have to spend your own energy. And that is the reason this society, Tamil, is continuously giving its resistance. That is the reason we are still talking as a group of people, group of language. We feel proud of our language. Look at it today. The entire Facebook, entire social media. I wouldn't believe my eyes that Sindhivali is being spoken as such a common man's word. So look at this way. So then this is how the spread it takes place. Next. I come to you. I started in Mahabharata. I don't mind time. I don't want to know the time. Okay. Vedic text. Anybody having urgent to get go, but this has to be done today. Vedic text. The Vedas are large body of religious text composed in Vedic Sanskrit. So you know that 4 Vedas, and this is a book. I have this book for last 30 years, couple of years. It's an extraordinary book. I don't accept with all the meaning they give it. The Keith and McDonald, they attempt for finding a name for everybody. They will say copy means a monkey, then they will say red bottom monkey. They will literally, the Keith and McDonald will literally translate the names, which is not a correct approach. And they have done a great job of putting the data together. And that is the reason people like me take it alphabetically, see it, and judicially put it in the Excel sheet and convert it into data, convert it to GAS. So, but for these books, I cannot get it this kind of data. So, I am thinking Vedic clan names. Vedic is full of clan. This clan, that clan, like that. I am not, each entry is a clan. But for the benefit of the last row, I am putting these very few. Kul. I am starting with what is the meaning? Kul. Raghupur Tilak, we say. Raghupur. Surya Kul. Kul. Kul is a place name. Kula is a place name where Kula will be a single. Kul will be a place. Not in Tamil Nadu. Kul cannot be a place. Kul, maybe Kulasegar and Patti, something like that, it may be, some name will come. But Kul alone is a place in Afghanistan, Iran, Tajikistan, Pakistan. Kula is a place in Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Pakistan. Aryan is a tribe, race, linguistic identity. Pakistan, Iran, Aryan, Turkmenistan, Aryaja, Georgia, Aryuta. Look at the top of it. Asur, a people against Devas. You know that in the Zen Avastha, in the Iranian religion, Asur is the hero, Deva is the villain. Deva is a villain. Dev Asur, they are having the divide there. They have the divide in the Iran. And the Deva people come this side, Asur people stay there. And they don't accept Deva, these people don't accept Asur, and then they become Ahub, Musda kind of thing, celebration and all kind of thing. So then there are commonalities. What is mentioned in Veda, Varun, Mitra, Agni type of some gods, or Mitra, particularly Varun and Indra, is mentioned in the Iranian documents also, Mitai tables, and then there's an agreement, the inscription, that area tables in the common for the Iranian tradition. And the Vedic tradition is the name Indra, Mitra, and Varun. How it will happen? Why I am not having that? So look at this kind of a name. Deva, heavenly people. Afghanistan, Georgia, Iran, David, Anga, a tribe, Pakistan. Aja, a tribe, Pakistan. Anu, a tribe, Iran. Andhra, a tribe. Andhra is a place will be tribe also. In Pakistan, Alina is a tribe. Aline in Iran. Ambastia, Odisha, Cambodia. Look at this. Iranian, Cambodia, like that. This Southeast Asia, it goes also. Cambodia kingdom. Look at this. Cambodia in Iran. Karaskara, a tribe. Karas in Iran. Karaskara, Kyrgyzstan, Karasu, Afghanistan, Iran, Azerbaijan. The entire area is a Karasu belt. You know that entire area downside is steppy. Kasi is a very, very important tribe. Kasi Rameshwaram. He said that Kasi Ponal Punya Gedegedam. Kasi. So he said that Banaras is considered Banaras only, considered to be Kasi. Okay, Kasi Vishwanath temple. Kasi is an important segment. You won't believe the number of Kasis in the North India, number of Kasis outside India. You won't believe it, I tell you. Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran. Both way, KASI. For me, I will search for both. It cannot computer alone do it. I have to sit down with KASHI because that's a SI. Iran. Kuru is a tribe in Iran. Place. Pakistan. Gandhari. Gandhari is in Pakistan, Iran. Chedi. Durvasa. Can you imagine Durvasa Munivan? Nisada. Bhakta. Naisada. Panchara. Panchara. Look at the Panchara. Panchara. In Iran. In Iran side, you see that Panchali, Pancha, Sibi. That Sibi story will come to Sibi Chakravarti. Then you will talk about the Sibi Chakravarti story. My Chola becomes Sibi Chakravarti. Then he will become a Raghuvamsa. That is a different story. Parsu, Parshuraman, Parsan, and nothing and all. Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran. Parvati, Parvat, Malay Mahal. Malay will become Parvati. And use that is the reason my book, Sindhuveli Panvatin Dravida Adithalam, I have written, I have subsequently also mentioned the entire hilly region of the northwestern India, including that entire belt, you will see only Malay most. Malay. Malay. And only one Giri is there, two Giri, and only one Parvat. Parvat and Giri are the Sanskrit word, only one and two found, hundreds of Malay. I have written that. This Malay, Kotai, Durga, before it became a Durga. So, Pundra is a tribe. Parvata, Bahika, Bharata is a tribe. That is what the Mahabharata, Palanas, Mutipa, Yaksu, Yadu tribes. Yadu, look at it, Iran name, Yadu, Vanga tribe. Like this, it's an endless story. So I take it to the next slide. Animal names. I wanted how can we, because I classified that. I created a separate database. In Vedic phonics, I am not putting the entire data. If I put the entire data, Vedic alone is a separate paradigm. But I will write. I will make a journey of a civilization, or for that, I will write a peer-reviewed international journal or something like that. This is a curtain raiser for this topic. I will keep working on this and I will make it happen. And Vedic animals, Akra means horse. Can it be a horse? There can be a Korean civilization or culture without a horse. In Indus Valley civilization, horse is not there. Horse is not there. Even Sangha Ilakyam tell in Neerin the Nivirbari Puravi. It comes from outside. But the Sangha literature already having Kudurai Maram, Ermai Maram, everything. But horse was not there in Indus. That is very, very important. Somebody in between made an attempt to make a horse out of it. But then he was exposed. And Asu is a steed. Ashwa is a horse. Look at it, all these places. Hayagriva, Udra, otter, Edaka, a vicious ram. A particular ram is known as Yeni is a deer. Kapi is a ape, Manida Kurangu. Kapi. And Kasika, Kasa, Gaja, elephant. Gardaba, an ass inferior to horse. Most likely like a Kodir type or something like that. An ass inferior to horse is a Gardab in Iran. Harina, Haya, horse in Rigveda. In Rigveda, the term Haya is used for the horse. But in Iranian place name it is Jagaka, Jatu, Kara, As, Kurma Avadara, Tortoise, Pakistan, Kurmarud, Iran, Machala, some sort of a dog. All these places, Maya, horse, Mesa Rasi is a ram, Afghanistan, Mesa, Mush, Munjurmari, Musika Vahana, Mouse, Azerbaijan, Iran, Pakistan, Musika, Iran, Georgia, Musikwara, Makara, probably crocodile, Nagara, aquatic animal, Nakula, Salyaka, porcupine, Varana, wild beast, elephant, Sardu, tiger, Usti, camel, Uta, Varaha, Avadara, boar. Look at it. The entire area is populated where it is very clear that animal names will be given to the place name. It is all over the world. All over the world, river name will be given to the thing, clan name will be given to the place, tribe name will be given, animal name will be given, bird name will be given. So it's not, I am not doing any rocket science, anything new. It is a base, whole world is following this pattern. Sasa, Sukra, Simin, Kukura, in Oriya and other Prakrit language. I was surprised that in Oriya we say, Kukurasla. Kukuru means, is a kukur. Kukuru means nine. Most likely delivers some kukka or something like that. Kukka. So we call it Nai. And the Malayalam is Patti. And the Patti is the word is used even in Kalithokai. In Sangha Ilakyam also uses that. So Nai Patti. And here is the Kurkur is used as a word. This is the place which names comes as the name of a dog in from that region. Kurkura, Iran, Kyrgyzstan, Iran. Gavaya means wild animal. Wild animal means boss gavayas. Not வீட்டில் இருக்கக்கூடிய பசுமாடு இல்லை. இது காட்டு மாடு மாதிரி. Wild animal. Iran Gavai. Chaga, goat. Dana, Basta, goat. Magis, buffalo. அது பாகிஸ்தான் சைடில் வந்தோட அந்த பஃபலோவே அறிமுகமாகும். மார்க்கடா, மார்க்கடா even in Oriya, even today is called Mankado. Mankado, Isati, monkey, Muskara, Saka, like this. These are animals. Next, go to the Vedic cattle. If they are the pastoralist, how can there not be cattle? Look at this list. Pasu, Pasu Padaka, Pasu. We tell ஆவும் ஆவியல் ஆவின் ஆவின் பால்ங்கிறது ரொம்ப தூய தமிழ். ஆவின் பால் ஆ. And cow, imagine Indo-European language, anywhere you go it's a cow. In English and other thing, Nordic language, Germanic, is all connected to that cow word. Look at it, go. Go, G-O. This is Tajikistan. That is a place. He's not asking anybody to go. It's a place name. It's a place name. And look at that, it's a Pasu. Pasu is also a cow. Go is a cow. Goa is a goat. G-O-W is a cow. Karki is the one type of cow in Karki you one. This one. Okay, take it. No, it's cattle. Okay, look at this. If you go to the Vedic literature, look at the reserve. Have you seen the reserve? Nearly that thing, reserve. Rishabha Vahana, Rishabha Rasi, Mesa Rasi, Mithuna Rasi. So like the reserve, Rishabha, Vahan means cattle. Oh, இவ்வளவு நேரம் இதை வச்சுட்டு இருந்தீங்களா? இதை முதல்ல கொடுத்தா நாங்க கையை இருக்காங்க. வாகன் சீக்கிரமா அவன் சொல்யூஷன் வச்சுட்டு துகா பால் போகிற மாடு, துகி கௌ, ரிஷப், வாகன பசு, வாகன கார்கிங்கிறது ஒரு பர்டிகுலர் பசு மாடு. கேட்டில் இருக்கும். அது நீங்க you can just go to Google for it. You can find out that Vedic index. Karki is a type of particular special cow, and then white cow, red cow, and all that. Duhi. So that's Duhi Pasu. This is what the cattle. If the cattle, if the Vedic Aryans are there, how can there not be a cattle? So that is the reason the pastoral names I have put it, and look at it where it's at in the steppes and then Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkey, this area, Iran particularly. Everything getting next. Vedic place names. Vedic itself is having a place names. Maru is a place. Kikaram, Turban, Maru, Kambili, Kurukshetra, Karaperson, Arjil, Maru, Mansar. All these things I connected with the place names and created this cluster. Next. Vedic rivers. Vedic literature is having full of rivers. There is a river called Sipi. Nadi itself is a name. Like how we call Aryan. It's a Nadi. Ganga Nadi kind of thing. So then the Sarit, Dehi is the name of a river. Sarayu. What do you mean by Sarayu? Look at it. Sarayu Nadi Karayil. How much we have read in Kamaramayana? Sarayu Nadi Dino. Ganga, Gangabi, Yamu, Kuba is a river in Vedic. And Sadani is a river in the Sadanira is another river name. Sadanira means the meaning is given that Jivanadi Mari. Sadana Epime. Nirna appear near the Tamil is a word has come Sada Nira anything. But I don't believe in meaning, I don't get into it. I keep away from the meanings. Although I am tempted, I keep away from that. Komali, Yogas, Saras, Seelam, Kuba, Sipavas, Sus is a river. Sadani is a river. Sarayu, look at the Sarayu. Look at Ganga. Next. Vedic territories. There's a Vedic territories are there. Lok. So I compile this particularly. Lok mean what? Lok Sabha. Lok mean Makkal. Loka. Ulagam. Loka. Ulagam. Makkal. Loka. Then this. Adavada konja grama manavana. Nama Tamil solvaru U. Is like it become Vish. Then that's a Raj, the leader. A Rajan. Then become Rajya. Des. Pradesh. So look at it. Look. Desa, Raj, Rashtra, this Rashtra, Nichka, Killer, and Nicha Basai, Nicha, Irinchi, Des, Nichka, Kars, Abna, Karsna, Cleft money, the Vedatlan, Rashtra, Ras, Nicha, Irinji, Visto, Kupan, Visani. So, like this, Raj, Rashtra, Kars, all these things I combine. Next, Vedic caste. Vedic, there is a group of people. Sudrani, Sudra, Rajani, ruler, Brahmani, Vitrari. What are the communities caste coming in Veda? I have located as a place name here. Brahman, Vaisya, Satriyan, Rajan, Pitriva, Pitrivatra Munnur, Pitur, Pitur ko ikut bangla. Pitur, Rajan, Pitrupe, Varna, Varna na group, color vache Varna. இது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வர்ணால இருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சு வயசுல இருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சு பிராமணி பிராமன் ராஜன் சண்டான் ராத்தகாஸ் வைசா சத்திரியன் பித்ரகா வாட் இஸ் மென்ஷன் இன் தி காஸ்ட் நேம் ஐ எம் ஐடென்டிஃபைங் as a place name. You remember that the same this particular thing, the concept not only traveled to Southeast Asia, the names also was transferred, the concept was transferred, the culture was transferred, the ideology was transferred. That's what I am trying to underline. Next. Then this only one map I put it in the name. Okay, you go to the Basti. In North India, I have traveled all over India, except 15, 16 districts of India. All the districts of India I have set my foot, except 15, 16 districts. 30 states I conducted election. 2 Lok Sabha elections I conducted. Every district I gone. And Basti is the name which I often hear. Basti is a district in Uttar Pradesh. Basti is a district. You can say Brahman Basti, Yadav Basti, and Jatav Basti, Jat Basti. Like that Basti means நம்ம ஊர்ல வந்து ஊர் சொல்ற மாதிரி அல்லது சேரின்னு சொல்ற மாதிரி கிராமம் சொல்ற மாதிரி சேரினா வித் ராங் இதெல்லாம் நம்ம பின்னாடி கொண்டு வந்த ராங் சங்க இலக்கியம் செய்த பார்ப்பன சேரி மீன் புக்கும் பான் சேரி. So it was it's a cross neutral name, but this Basti is very important. So I located all these name I found. That Gotra, Desa, Kul, Basti, Raj, Loka, Kuba, Giri. Where in India it comes, I want to know. And then I put that instead of putting as a dot, I put it the name. Meru, Gotra, Basti, Kul, Harmi, Prasadpura, Gotra, Kul, Desa, Duru, Gotra. Where it comes. Look at it. Which area it comes. Somehow in the Karnataka area, Karnataka, in some places, there is a place called Saraswati. Then I went to the Google map and located where. So there is a school is there. And then they are also doing something connected to the Veda Pathsala kind of thing and all. So Kula, and this is a few names are seeping into it. This is a way. Right, where that? Okay, go to the previous. Kaya. Okay, then look at it, how famine for this name here. How rich this name. This is the way you go to understand when we go to the DNA and other studies. You have to see that how this happened. This binary is inevitable. This ideology is inevitable. But we have to understand in the proper context. We are talking in a new world where we are talking about a global human. Global man. We are talking about Yadu Mure Yavarum Kelly is our ideology. We will ultimately come back to that. So next. So now I am coming to the Rig Indra Gandhara complex compiled together. I saw all the data. Now I compiled it. Now I will show you only these 3 names. Indra, Gandhara, Rig, Indrajin, Rig, Gandhari river. Indra, Ig, Gandhara. How do you mean? That is the reason I call it a rig complex. I am not calling for the fancy RIG like KVT. How I found Korkai Vanji Tundi. It was a eureka moment. One day night around 1:32, I come back from office around 11, 11:30, 10:30 night. I come and open my laptop. Why I mention my wife Sujata's name? 1:30 I wake her up and tell that I found Korkai Vanji Tondi. I broke the code. And it is my eureka moment. She told me, don't sleep. It's already 1:30. This is how at 1:30 one day I found Kotkai Vanji Tondi complex. This sometime in 2002 to 3 I had broken this code, but I waited for this 100th year. Probably I didn't consciously wait. And luckily when I was vacating my phone, I got hold of this document. This document was waiting in my library and reading room for this many years to be spoken by me today. And this is how the rig complex looks like. Next. Top 50 names. Okay, you have always have a top 10, top 20. I had a confusion. This many names I am confusing you. Whether I go for a top 100, then it is getting populated. Then we sat yesterday night till 11:30, 12, three of us sat together. We had a problem in basically filtering in. This is needed, that is important, that is important. We had a consensus. We finally filtered 50 names selected. Everything is important. Ra, Sita, Rishabh, B, Puru, Kuru, Panchala, Janaki, Rig, Nala, Gandhara, Ravan, Markanda, Yadu, anything you name, without this 50, you cannot construct the identity of Aryan identity. This I call is a top 50. I am locating this top 50 here. So next, the contours of migration. We are talking much lot about the river Saraswati. Even the curriculums and the textbooks are being changed to include this name. So it's very important. We must know with an open mind what exactly it's about. Saraswati is the name. Saraswati is the name of the goddess. Saraswati is the name of the person. Any one of you could be a Saraswati. Any god is there. Saraswati is a river. Saraswati is a place. For information, you should always find in Sanskrit, some type A ending thing will be masculine. Mahanada, Mahanati, Saraswata, Saraswati, like that. So I located this Saraswati, where it comes. I will show the name also. Here in India, I am not able to find this Saraswati anywhere in Georgia, Iran. Maximum I could find a place called Saras. I could not find Saraswat or Saraswati. I found only in India. Here it comes this Saraswati. Here this place, this dot I am putting is called a Saraswati river. You go to Google and look for where is it in Chhattisgarh, in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, if look at it, if possible, just Google if possible, find out. Google it and I'll tell the coordinates. This is a small river. This is also called Saraswati river. Okay, then there should be a Saraswati is a same, then Saraswati Pur, Saraswati Pura. Then by the time it travels to the South India, it comes to the Saraswati Puram, Saraswati Petai, like that. Then there is one Saraswati gets into Sri Lanka. And once reach here, where is the way it starts showing? It's in Indonesia, where I go put this particular round. There is a Saraswati. How this Saraswati went there? This Saraswati went because of the Hinduized middle period, completely converted the kings from South India, kings from the Eastern India, and the ruling class, Brahmin priest, the neo Kshatriyas, and then converted everybody, and then lateral entry, everybody went and somebody carried this Saraswati and put it in the Indonesia. It is in Indonesia, Sri Lanka, South India, concentrated here. It is a river here. It is not a river here. And then it is coming here at least. So we saw a small river is going there, but it is not called Saraswati river. The place is Saraswati. So I feel Saraswati on the move. Saraswati moves. She keeps moving. And probably I could not find a Sindhu in the entire Southeast Asia. Sindhu is settled. Probably. Saraswati is on the move and Sindhu is settled. Next. And Saraswati on the move, but not even a single place in Southeast Asia where Sindhu is a mono-word place name. This is a terminology thing. MWPN means mono word place name. That means Kul is a place. Kula is a place. It's a mono word, only one word. It's a monosyllabic. Go, cow, and not cow petting, not Ayodhya. It's the same name. It's a mono word. Ayodhya petting is a double prefix and suffix. It becomes a specific name and suffix. So I have not found here. Look at it. This Saraswati. Go to the previous page. Previous. Yeah. Here this is Saraswati. Look at it. Saraswata. Male form Saraswata in Sri Lanka. Saraswati. Saraswati Vilasa. Somewhere in Tamil Nadu. Saraswati Vilasapuram. Saraswati Kalava. Saraswati Palli. Saraswati Pura. Saraswati Halla. In Karnataka, P will become Ha. Palli Halli. And Saraswati River. Here one river. Saraswati Nala is a drain Nala. Nala means like a kind of canal. Saraswati Nala, Saraswati Nadi, Saraswati River. This is the Saraswati River I was telling. Saraswati Nadi, Saraswati. So when these particular people come, along with these people, the Saraswati moves. Saraswati not started there, is found. Saraswati traveled to Indonesia, and no one claimed that we are the thing, because I will tell you what happened to Southeast Asia Navy. Next. I read this book. It's one of the greatest book. I have a huge regard for this author. Sometime in the early 90s, I bought this book. I think mid-90s, I think. I want to put this cover, Rajesh Kochar, one of the phenomenal researcher. Throughout the archaeological history of India, I am quoting him in page 22-21. There is a time progression from west to east. Throughout the history, archaeological history, is a move is from west to east. The western sites were always older than the eastern sites. The western site will be older period-wise than the eastern site. Thus, the Indus sites are older than the Gaggar sites. Later, the Mahabharata named PGW, painted graveware sites, are older and more westerly than the Ramayana named NBPW, Northern Block Painted Ware sites. Rajesh Kochar, page number 221. Next page. During their migration, the Info-Aryans carried with them not only their poetry and religious beliefs, but also place and river names, which they selectively reused. When I read this book, I felt that they were moving with their name, they were selectively reusing. They move, names move, selectively reused. Saraswati, Brahmana, Vaisya, Kshatriyan, Sutra. Selectively reused. Brahma, Bhishma, Rama, Sita, Ravan, Lanka, selectively reused. But he didn't mind, he didn't explain. I got a clue from that. When I started my studies, I started in late 80s. I was already into place name studies. But where I was encouraged to study the Vedic thing was in this. There is no shred of evidence, he says, to show that the Nagarkarians, early phase Harappans and mature phase Harappans had any cultural trait in common with the Rigvedic and Avestan people. Rajesh Kochar, 225. Are you still not convinced? Are you? I'll give you one more evidence. This document I presented in 2005 in Bangalore. Those days I was in just moving to Delhi. 2004, I think that I delivered a talk in Mysore. 2005, I delivered a speech in Bangalore. At that time, we created some slides, GA slides. Suddenly, about a couple of weeks back, I located my old document. I realized that I had spoken on a similar subject, not this way, about a particular context in 2005. See this particular document. Malla. It's the name of the Malla dynasty, tribe dynasty king. This side is the place name. This is AF mean Afghanistan, PK. This is latitude and altitude. Malla is a place. Sakya. So you know you were there. There is a scholar inscription scholar, you must have done a great work. Padmavati is here. And we are having the great benefit of having one of the epigraphist and historian here. You know Sakya. And the Sakyan, Lichavi kings, Licha, Ambi, Porus and Purusottoman fought with Alexander. Ambi also was there in that character, that Ambi, Porus and Purusottoman, Porus in Iran. Which one that? Magadha. Later on, it became Indian kingdom, Magadha. Sisuna got some dynasty, Sisuna in Iran. Nanda dynasty, Nanda, even Sangam literature mentioned about Nandar mentioned, Sangam literature mentioned even Nandar. Maurya, again, Mauripu in Iran. Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta is a place. A fellow from Chandragupta is a Chandragupta. That is reason in Korkai Vajji Tondi, when I mentioned that Maran is a place name, Validi is a place name, Kannagi is a place name, Hospital is a place name, Pumukar also is a place name. I mentioned Adiyaman is a place name, Neduman is a place name, Anji is a place name. Adiyaman, Neduman, Anji is a progress of 3 place names. That is how I presented my thesis. Today, so far, no one has refuted that. If Adiyaman can be a place name outside, why not Chandragupta? So we will give a name, Chandra, moon, and Gupta, secrecy, something like that. We will give a name. I don't believe in it. Asoka. Other thing, Asoka. That is a place where the K will become Q. So you need to know, when I search that, I have to search K, I will search G, I have to search KH, I will search GH, I will search Q. That is how it takes a time taking. Sunga dynasty. Kanvan. Next. Saka Varsam Badila, Saka calendar. Kusan kings. Look at the Kusan. Iran. Kanishka. Can anybody deny that Kanishka is not a king? Kanishka, Afghanistan. Kanishkin, Iran. Chedi kings, Chedi Vamsam. You know it. Chedi Kuge. Karavela, whose inscription for the first time mentioned about the Tramila Sangata. Tamil Kuttarasigal, Natparasigal. The first epigraphic evidence is available for the Sangam Trinity, what called Muvendar, is only in the Hadikubba inscription where Tamil Natparasigal was spoken. Tramila Sangata. But the Karavela, Malava kingdom. Sadavagana. மொழிபெயர்ப்பு நூற்றுவர் அப்படின்னு சாதவாகனா வானாககன் பத்மாவதி you must know இங்க வானாககன் குப்தம் ஹூனின் தோரமானா டைனசி தோரமானா மௌகாரி சசாங்கா ஹர்ஷவர்தனா சாளுக்கியா. I have created, when I spoke in Bangalore, I created a Chalukya cluster and proved to them. Chalukya moved as a cluster. And then how it's coming from Iran and carrying a group of names, I matched the river with the river, the area with the area. It was a presentation which I did in 2005. Go there. Go to that. Important name is there. Then finally, Pulikesi. I am a fan of Pulikesi. Particularly, Iruvatimuram Pulikesi. Varalaru Mukkiyam Amaichar. Pulikesi is the place name. Can you match it? Mudalam Pulikesi, Randam Pulikesi, Iruvatimuram Pulikesi. I am a huge fan of Pulikesi. We have a group which we have the Pulikesi Vadivelu as our permanent DP. So we run it, we discuss only a non-serious matter. We cut jokes and create memes. And this Pulikesi. So after Pulikesi is a place name, is there anything to talk further? So then, come next. This is a map from presentation in 2005. I didn't change that map get up. We could change the map also. That table and this map, which I had prepared some 20, how many years? 20, 29 years, 19 years, sorry, 19 years back. I presented in Bangalore. I maintained the same map and same table. I didn't change this. This is what I presented. Next. Density of such names in north and lack of density or void in south. I was showing some of the map. There is a density. There's a density. The patterns of migrate penetration always takes place. Number one, the name will be modified. Name will be slightly modified. Pulkesi, Pulkestin, Chalukya, and then Kaniska, and Chandragupta. It's like modified added thing. Added suffixes, Ayodhya, Ayodhya Kuppam, Vyasa, Vyasa body. So like that, the suffixes will be added. Pattai, Puram. Translation. Translation is another method. The name, they will find out what is the meaning of it. So there is a river called Silambaru. It's mentioned in the ancient literature. Silambaru. Then you go to Alagargoil near Madurai. When you go to the Palamudu Cholai, on the way there will be a board will be there. What is that board, ma'am? Nupura Kangai. Nupura means Silambu. Aru means Gangai. Any Aru is a Aru. So my Silambaru has become a Nupura Gangai. There is a river called Panni Aru in the Kerala region, Wayanad side, that side, before it enters into the Theni side of Madurai district, it is called Panni. Then the moment it enters the Sanskritist area of the Madurai region, it becomes Varaga Nadi. Varaga Nadi Karai Vara. You write that song. Okay, Varaga Nadi. I went to for an election work in Khammam district in sometime in 1997 in Andhra Pradesh. I was in Khammam. Then I was traveling and I was asking for a map. In the tribal area, the name of the river is Panni and the town is Varaga. So like that, Vedaranyam. How the Veda comes to my area, Vedaranyam. Then people say it's a Marai card. People say it's a Marai card. Vedaranyam. Mayiladurai, Mayura. And then Triveni, Mukudala. Then Kridumal Nadi. I don't understand near Madurai what the hell Kridumal. And you know, he's from Madurai. Kridumal, I don't know any idea. Kridumal Varaha. So I have it's a from blue. It's out of from there somewhere Kridumal, Varaha and all is surrounding me. Nupura Gangai and Triveni and Sangamam and all. It's a Kudal. So Mukudal. So it's a translation. And in Southeast Asia, in most cases, they reverted to the native names. These guys went and created is a Raja Rani Raja. This some of the names stayed back. When you go to that book, you find hundreds of names. During the inscription, during that period, this was called this country, this was the this Puri, that was that Puram, this was the Meru and all. Today they have gone back to their original name, their language names. And some names stayed Indian, stayed Hindu, Sanskrit name. Some alternative names have been given. Inscription and documents in Southeast Asia and research work gives far more names than what is factually on ground. It's just actual on ground. Missing key identity markers in the South. The name like Greek, I don't find. There is no separate name called Soma. There is no separate name called Indra. There is no ring. There is no Gandhara. In Sangam literature, I am searching. Gandhara is there? No. Ring is there? No. There is a mention about non-Marai. But there is a mention about Indra. But my Sangam literature schooling is left. And making a mimicking out of him. In Tirupurangundram, after Muruga, the Velan, the Kurinji god, got married to the daughter of the Indra, Daivanadi. It is a Tirupurangundram. Paribadal makes a song on the Vaiyai and Tirupurangundram Segway. And people are going there. I recently made a speech in the museum, Eluthinilai Mandapam. That was my talking. Eluthinilai Mandapam, I called is the gallery of paintings. And there is the people, the guides are showing in the Sangam literature period. In Tirupurangundram, there is a mural paintings are kept. And that is a place Devi Ana is there. She is the daughter, supposed to be the daughter of Indra. And this fellow, Madurai guys are asking, what is that painting? Oh, see that. Oh, see that one. Oh, it's a great painting is there. Oh, Ramba is there. Urvasi is there. Then they are saying, oh, this guy is the Indra. Look at it, this Indra. Oh, look at it. He is running like a cat. Pune. கீதா கௌதமா முனிவர் வீட்டுக்கு ஒரு பூனை விஷயத்துல போயிருக்காரு, இதுல போயிருக்காரு. அவர் கௌதமா வந்து கையோட பிடிச்சவனும் அவர் வந்து அவர் அகலிகைக்கு சாப்பிட விட்டுறாரு. Then see runs like a thing. Suppose the Madurai guys went to Tirupurangundra, it is a place of Devi Anai, and who is a daughter of Indra. You should only glorify Indra. But how can you make a memes? That was the first meme released by Tamil guys. So that's they're actually ridiculing. In fact, actually, if you see somebody, sir, where are this is the thing, is a cat, he's running like cat, he's the Gautama, like that, they were. And then again, another fun. In Indra, wherever Tribunal mentioned Indrane Salum Kari, he's not actually praising. He's making a fun actually. And you look at it, each other, Indra Amindam Yevad. In Sangam literature, there's a song. This world is lying like this, rotating. There are some people, even if you go and give him the Amrita of the Indra Loka, he will not take it alone separately. He will divide it for everybody and give it. And because of people like him, this world is running. It's what Sangam literature makes a cultural politics. So that means, what is a statement? That is the what you call distributive justice. Again, the Laram Patriya, the greatest statement made by the Sangam literature is the Indra Amildava. And also in Paripadal, there is a song written in praise of Thirumal. The song written for praising Thirumal, but that song says that Irukai Urumal, he has got two hands, but one hand is not an honest hand, is a dishonest hand. Nayanil Urukai. In the Amirdatai, while dividing, Vishnu played partisan role and gave it to the Deva and not giving to the Asura. Because that role is played by the Vishnu, the out of these two hands, one hand is Naduvut Nilai Tirambiya, moved away from the equity, moved away from the distributive justice, moved away from the justice of law, and moved away, and is a Nayanil Organ. Naduvutilai Tarambiya Nayanil Organ. Wherever Indra was spoken in Sangam literature, he has been ridiculed only. Wherever this Amirgam has been spoken, there is no place called. So if you begin to look at it, the pattern, the monoid placing is a strong indicator. The patterns of penetrations are obvious. Come next. Proposal. Now I am giving my proposal, the fourth part. Based on the GIS data, geographical information data, maps of thematically organized comparative node clusters across the potential regions, which I consider potential, Steppe, Georgia, Iraq, Iran, and the patterns of penetration presented here, I propose RIG complex, which I call RIG complex, the metaphorical clusters of identical place name stands witness to the Aryan migration theory, AMT. The data supports Rajesh Kocher's 1997 suggestion that Indo-Aryans during their migration carried with them not only their poetry and religious beliefs, but also place and river names that they selectively reused. Next, the contours of the migration of the Indo-Aryan names confirm the archaeological history of the Indian subcontinent, which shows time progression from the west to east and northwest to south. It once again endorses the known archaeological fact. The Indus sites are older than Gagor sites, and BRWs and BGW sites are older than NBPW. The pathways of the past, the contours of the past, the pathways of the past as revealed by the migration of these names are in sync with the recent studies in ancient DNA and genomic data from diverse present-day South Asian, which talks about the AASI, ancient ancestral South Indian, ancestral South Indian, ancient South Indian, and ancestral North Indian, and Harpan and Steppe people, and who came from the thing. So these are the areas which is very basically the genomic studies are putting across. The archaeological studies are putting across. My study, I believe, that is falling in sync. If I create a DNA pattern map, it will sync. If I create an archaeological site map, it will sync on that. It will go and sit pretty on that map. So this is what I will say in this proposal. Next. And I am glad to quote, but man is not a tree. He has no roots. He has feet. He walks. Sometime when I was working in Odisha, I went to a village for my field study, a Dravidian tribe, Dongriapo. Kambesi is the name of the village. And this place, this area I located, that tribal people in the last 70, 80 years, no 80, 90 years, shifted their village 3 times. Because there's a water facility is not there, the river change, then there is a little grazing area. They change to another 2 kilometers away, then another 3 kilometers away. Then somebody wrote about an anthropologist. Then I went to that village, and his face is still in my mind space. I can recall his face, that old man. I wanted to meet some old man who will know the local their history. And then I read from this anthropology, this village shifted 3 times. And he casually mentioned this village shifted 3 times. And then I also know that all the 3 times the name was kept. I went to that village, sat with that old tribal man whose face I'm still remembering. I asked him, okay, you shifted, I understand, your village 3 times. But any number of new names are there. Why you kept the same name? So I know that I am a name researcher, I know, but I never expected this answer. How can we change he was asking me in the colloquial area and the language, tribal language, I can understand. How can we change the name of the village given by our ancestors? Their spirits may get confused when they want to visit us. No university, no professor, no university could have taught me the simple lessons of the migration of the names. Why people are clinging to the name. They consider that to be an umbilical cord. Kurkai is important for me. Vani is important for me. Madurai is important for me. For somebody, Saraswati is important. For somebody, Ram is important. So like that, the people cling to the name. There is no present. That is the reason I opened these two, all three I mentioned in my studies, in my journey of civilization. There is no present or future, only the past happening over and over again now. நிகழ்காலம் என்று எதுவும் இல்லை, கடந்த காலம் என்று எதுவும் இல்லை, நிகழ்காலம் என்று எதுவும் இல்லை, கடந்த காலமே கடந்து செல்கிறது நம்மை மீண்டும் மீண்டும். India's pluralism through this book, through my studies, I want to articulate an important ideological position which I have been taking all my days, all my life. India's pluralism is not a melting pot pluralism. Bhaktavachalan Pandisa was quoting that. India's pluralism is not a melting pot pluralism. India's pluralism is not a salad bowl pluralism, like in America they would like to call. India's pluralism is a rainforest pluralism. அது ஒரு மலைக்காட்டு பள்ளியம். யாதும் ஊரே யாவரும் கேளி. Every town our hometown. Every man a kinsman. கனியன் பூங்குன்றனா. புறநானூறு 192. மிக நன்றி. வணக்கம்.